किसी भी राउंड में सांप आया तो 1 करोड़ इनका चला जाएगा।
We Love Fortune 27 जनवरी से रात 9 बजे Sony Entertainment Television और Sony Live पर।
So, we've got the tweet that's come through. The lefties have left the slam down under Extraaa Serve. When was the last time the women's top 4 have played the semi of the slam together? The men's do it often.
When was, let me just understand this. When was the last time the women's, the top 4 seeds played in the...
Played in the top 4 have played the
okay,
semis
when's the last time the
together?
women's top 4 have
The
played
men
the
do it often.
semis of a slam together? That's a good question. That's a tough
It's a long
question.
time ago.
I mean, I would say, what, more than 10, 15
I would say
years?
you should know this.
Yeah,
should?
stat guy.
Should I know this?
Anybody in our year, should we know this?
And 2009
Wimbledon.
Oh, look, Grace knows it.
Thank you, team in the
But
ear.
why is that? Like, yeah, the tweet essentially said that it happens on the men's side very often, but not on the
Not
women's
as
side.
much on the women.
I mean, I'd like to answer that. I think that for a long time after and just before, Serena and Venus kind of dominated. And then when Venus and Serena came on the tour, where everybody kind of spoke about the fact that how women's tennis had become so one-dimensional and it was just Serena, Venus, and, you know, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then Sharapova would come, win a couple of slams in there. Then, you know, it was an odd one of Kvitova here and there, but it was essentially Serena basically doing. And then, you know, we were talking about number ones if Dinara, Sapina, Caroline, Wozniacki not winning slams and becoming number 1 in the world, and Serena continuing to win. So everybody was like, there's no depth in women's tennis, blah, blah, blah. When Serena and Venus kind of started declining, let's say not dominating as much, Venus before then Serena, we had random people win. And by random, I'm saying many, right? Like we had Vondrousova winning, and then we had like a Kvitova would come at the Wimbledon. And
Halep won.
And then you would have, who else was
Yeah, you said
Simona
Halep, yeah.
Refresh,
Simona
you would have Halep. And
Wozniacki winning one.
Wozniacki won one much later after she became
Lena.
number 1. You had Lena winning French Open. I mean, I remember Lena telling me, I don't know how to slide with the other leg. I only know how to slide with one. I've had a conversation with her where she said, I only know how to slide with my left. I don't know how to, or one or the other. And she's like, but I won Roland Garros. So the thing is that there's no winning. There's no winning because I believe that women's tennis became, at one point, the draw became so open that you could not pick a winner at the beginning of
The major.
Yeah.
Now we've come back to saying that Sabalenka is a favorite, right?
Yeah.
So we were talking about the big 3 being Sabalenka, Rybakina. We've had these
Swiatek,
conversations,
yeah.
Swiatek, and big 4 being Coco maybe in there. But for a period of maybe 8 to 10 years, and that's probably the period we're talking about, which was 2009 to like now, over the last couple of years, where the draw was really open because anybody could win. And by anybody in that top 50 could win. You had an
Ostapenko.
Emma Raducanu win
Ostapenko,
a US
yeah.
Open. You had an Emma Raducanu and Leila Fernandez play a final.
Final.
Do you know what I mean?
Who would have
So
thought
who
that?
would have thought? So I actually have a different take that I think that when the draw is that open, there is actually more depth because that is the reason you can't pick a winner. So you could go into the men's draw and say, Roger, Rafa, and Novak are going to make the semi-final, and then the 4th one is going to be between
Murray
5,
or
6,
whoever,
5, 6, Wawrinka or Murray. In the women's, you couldn't do that. And that shows you more depth. And what does depth essentially mean? Depth means that
More players have a shot
number
of winning.
1
Yeah.
can be beaten by a
Yeah.
number 15 player. That's what depth means. Depth does not mean that you can predict the winner.
Yeah.
Depth
How nice. There's so many
I don't
things
think
in
that's a
life that
bad
you
thing.
can
Exactly.
actually predict.
I don't think it's a
Exactly.
bad
How good
thing.
is
I
it
think it's a
that you
good
can?
thing.
I think it was a great thing for
Yeah.
women's tennis where we couldn't predict who could win.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad thing that we couldn't tell that, oh, the top 4 are going to be so
In the
and so.
semis, yeah.
And
It's
we
not
weren't,
set
I
in
mean, it
stone.
wasn't, the Rafa, Roger, Novak era was unique in the sense that, you know, the 3 of them kind of just dominated the entire field. That's not typical.
Freaks
you know.
of nature.
It's kind of freaks
every
of nature.
sport has
I mean,
them, and that era in particular, across all sports, it was crazy the identities that were really found, and we all got so attached to because they were just phenomenal. There was honestly no words to describe some of these players across all sports. It's just bizarre how they were able to achieve consistently the results that they did, right?
I agree. And I think there's many greats, right? Tiger Woods.
Exactly.
Tiger Woods.
Michael Phelps.
Michael
Yeah.
Phelps, Michael Jordan,
Jordan.
LeBron
Michael
James,
Jordan,
Kobe
yeah.
Bryant. I mean, Derek
list
Jeter.
goes
The
on.
list goes on. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But yeah, I guess
Virat Kohli.
Virat
Yeah,
Kohli,
the
you have to
king.
throw it in there. Sachin Tendulkar. Apparently, Matthew Hayden was reasonably good. That's what I heard. I don't
No, he
remember.
wasn't up there with those names, please.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it is one thing that I guess we're talking a little bit about aura. You know, all of these very special athletes, they all had a little bit of that special sauce, that special something that turned the eyeballs on them. You know, whenever they kind of walked out. But
Especially these three, though, like just specifically to tennis, I think all three of them were unique because they were all three so different from each other.
Yeah.
And they all, in fact, I want to say Andy in there as well, only because of his Olympic goals. And I feel like he deserves to be in there, but he doesn't get the credit. But like, I feel, Roger was perfect. It was very hard to find a flaw in him.
I think
it
he's still perfect.
Even from a personality standpoint,
Yeah, I'm
not
just
even
talking,
game.
I'm not talking about tennis standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the
Off court,
personality.
yeah.
I'm talking about the
Everything.
aura that you were talking about. And then you had a Rafa was like super humble and super underconfident almost, right? Like I've been on teams with him where he's like, oh my God, I need to go and serve. And I'm like, I think you'll be fine.
And he had,
think you're okay.
he had his little quirks that made him Rafa, right? With his little
And
superstitions.
he was all about like underplaying himself and overplaying the person that he was playing. And I was like, what was the score? And he was like, I won 1, 2, and 1. And he was like, but he's a great player. Like, and then you had Novak. And Novak wasn't perfect. He was a little cocky, especially initially, and that's what made him real. And he said it how it was. And I personally loved it. I loved the fact that he didn't hide his personality. So I think that's what made all three of them so unique.
Yeah.
And so the era of tennis, so special. And Somdev and I especially have had the privilege of growing up with 2 out of the
around,
3.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4,
Really,
including
yeah.
Andy. And, we've seen that growth. We've seen how they've evolved into the champions that they were. And we were part of that era of playing with them. And it was truly, truly special.
Okay, well, I think we have another tweet that's come through. I mean, that discussion was amazing. Thank you, guys.